Welcome to the perfect start on Arrakis, fast-tracking you to your sandbike, also common mistakes to avoid, and an introduction into the Dune gameplay loop. Maybe this gets you hyped and interested for the game. Step 1. Choose an evil mustachio and give it a funny color. Perfection. Step 2. Always choose unlocked. Never go for locked. I'll explain as we enter the game. Then you'll choose your dialogue traits. This is how you influence people inside conversations. You know this from traditional RPGs. I'll go for deception and I'll be in nobility because they're known for their deception. And your next important, not so important choice is your class. I'll begin with Bene Gesserit because she gets an amazing sprint in the beginning. Keep in mind, all these other classes you can unlock from skill vendors over quests. The trooper you get pretty much in the first city. The first outpost, you can unlock the trooper. Done. Never choose this one. Again, Bene Gesserit gets a really cool sprint that avoids you getting eaten by sandworms. After finishing the tutorial, run away from the ornithopter because the sandworm eats you. And definitely make sure to always stand in the shadows if you're crafting menus whatsoever. Otherwise, your heat stroke bar will fill up. You can see that on the tippity-toppity there. And this will deplete your water resources tremendously. And now, why do we choose unlocked over locked? If you go to your research, you have your journey on the left side. And this is a step-by-step crafting so you learn the game. I could now, since I choose unlocked, right away go and unlock the sandbike. I don't have the materials yet to craft it, but I do not have to go through every single step before I get the sandbike. You still will go through these steps as they give you good experience and level up your class. That being said, instead of taking 4 hours to get your sandbike, you can get it in 30 minutes to 1 hour already. Now, even if you're new, you want to do this, you have your journey in the top left corner that now tells you to get the fiber, to craft your gear. But on top of having the journey, you also have the freedom to research whatever you want. Open your map, you see nothing. This is going to be your first objective, where you have to do a trial. Interestingly enough, we know that from the objective on the top left side, roughly, there's going to be the first outpost. You randomly spawn at the beginning of the map, so I could also be here, or I could be on this side. But roughly there is always going to be the first settlement where you could get the quest to unlock your trooper skills. Now, I did the mistake of standing in the sun as I was talking to you, and I got my heat debuff, which depletes my water balance on the left side. First steps include clothing, guns, and also a respawn beacon. Knock that out. And while these things are crafting, make sure to already gather iron and stone, because we'll need this to craft your first base. Keep in mind here that you cannot take your base with you, so don't invest too much in your first base. Build a simple 4x4 with another 4x4 on top. Since after a couple of hours, you're already going to go into the next region. And since we're going for a good start, you're going to fast track into the next region pretty quickly. On your gathering journey, already make sure to hit the objective and also move towards that marker that we put down as we want to get to the settlement. Also pick up every copper piece you find, because we'll need that copper to craft ourselves the sandbike. Your next research should go towards the basic exsanguation kit. This allows you now to extract blood from your enemies, and you can drink that blood to always stay hydrated. Otherwise, you have no source of drinks in the beginning. And the first skill point you get from finishing the journey, we put into the Bindu sprint. And I'll show you why the Bindu sprint is so absolutely broken in the beginning. Craft yourself a small blood sac and the blood extractor. And now I want to cross over this big piece of desert to get to the objective, because it doesn't matter what level you are. We can just go there right away. As you cover these open stretches of sand, sandworms might get attracted to you. But with a Bindu sprint, we can just fly over it. This helps also with your heat stroke, because I am gathering up this heat damage. I might get heat stroked, but not if I pretty much can fly over any area super quick. Now, what I said about the first objective is that you need to do this. This is the first trial, but you don't actually need to be strong for the trial or have a high damage output or anything. You just literally have to make it to the trial. Therefore, as you're close to it, you might knock it out as well, because then you're able to move to the next region for the second trial. On the way to the trial, you're going to find the first humans, and with this symbol, you just poke your needle into them and suck the blood out of these guys. Now I can drink out of the blood bag and refill my water meter. Very good. Again, keep in mind to not get heat stroked. It's kind of annoying. And just kill everything that's in your way. Enemies are rather easy to kill. You just spam away, hit some headshots, donezo. You could also just carve him up with your weapon. Keep in mind to really, after killing every single opponent, to suck the blood out of them. Also, we did craft the respawn beacon, and you do want to still do the journey things. So you don't want to ignore the journey things, as it does give you a nice experience boost, but you can't also do it subsequently. So like I can gather 500 iron right now, 500 copper, but later the game will tell you to gather 160 copper. So you then have to gather another 160 again. Here we are at the entrance to the first trial. You run in and you have to play a little hide and seek game with the ginormous eyes. I'll let you figure that one out yourself. Okay, that was a wild trip, but it also gets us bonus skills, which you can invest into better recovery and also better sun tolerance. Now, as you leave the cave and you look to the left, you do see this glowing monolith. That is the outpost. And right in front of us is also the location for bike materials. With the Bindu Sprint, you can just fly over the sand without having to fear that a worm is going to eat you, but still look left and right just in case, because you really don't want to turn out to be worm fodder. Yikes. Now we'll advance our journey to reach Shelter and Shields. Research those binoculars, doesn't cost you anything anyways. And also knock out the basic construction kit already, together with the blood purifier. Now you might have already killed a scavenger and used an ability, but that's what I said about the journey. The journey still forces you to now kill a scavenger and also use an ability in order to get the next step. Well, that's okay. We want to kill these scavengers anyways, as we need their blood. And our first base, we're going to craft right next to this research base that we talked about, because that's the location where we get everything for our bike, and we get the copper plus stones, everything we actually need in the vicinity. For this, you have to craft your construction tool, and then you can finally knock out your base. You're going to place your subfief console that kind of determines your area, and then you begin with a complete standard 4x4. In order to craft in the game, you hold your left mouse button as you put things down. You can either do the projection first or right away just hold things down. Like this. Boop. You do count as sheltered as you actually put a roof on your base. Until you have a roof on your base, you're not sheltered and the door won't properly interact with you. Now, I'd recommend to pretty much do the 4x4 together with then on top another floor, because that is enough space to use all the basic facilities in the beginning, like the blood to water machine, also the constructor, fuel power generator, and so on. First tiny home knocked out. Put your basic storage under the stairs and get the energy running upstairs, plus your first refinery for blood. Load up your generator with fuel cells, and then you can, in the blood purifier, store your blood and it will be transformed into water. Ta-da! We never have to worry about drink again. Make sure to remove everything from your inventory that you don't really need, because you can actually craft out of the boxes, which is very good. But you also want to have the maximum backspace space to pick really everything up in the world. Now, in order to be a bit more tanky and pack more punch, craft yourself the Karpov and the scavenger racks. For this, you'll need the small iron refinery that you can make iron ingots. This is also why we followed the journey, because leveling up gives us intel that we can afford getting these things. And in order to craft the gun, we also got to research the fabricator. Now, in order to make that gear, you need a microflora fiber, and this is found in shipwrecks. Before we go to that shipwreck though, because that will be traveling around, we can now just simply knock out the ruins already that we had close by. For this, your standard Mala pistol should be enough. Don't forget to actually take enough darts with you, and also some bandages, just in case. Now with this in tow, you're ready to explore the Imperial Testing Station number 2, as this will grant us all the materials we need to make our bike. And from that point on, we can travel wherever we want super quick. Head inside and downstairs. Make sure to really loot every guy that's just lying on the ground. Get all the containers knocked out that you can find. And don't miss out on drinking water from these water supplies on the side. Important, look also for the little hidden chests, as they will have the capacitors and the servox that you need to craft your bike. And don't forget to extract all the blood from your enemies, as your blood to water machine is quite hungry. Don't worry, we'll get a bigger blood bag down the line with better research. Before you head down the big stairwell, make sure to turn around and enter the circular room behind you. Here you'll get tons of loot. First, a quest item, the automatic poison snooper, but you'll also get this little piece called a passive suspensor belt. If I now fall from a great height, it will pretty much save me from getting squished. We also get a new power pack that will provide more power than our standard one. It's slightly damaged, but we can repair that down the line. Head downstairs to get yourself more servox fabricators, kill every single dude on there because, well, they're annoying. And if you explore enough, you'll find this sneaky identification band. It's almost at the very end where you have the hidden door. Okay, that's where you turn around and get that identification band. You'll need that for a certain room to enter. Hidden room gives us stuff for our bike, drinks, and also another quest item that we can hand in then at the outpost that I mentioned. Now we're heading outwards through the portal. Obviously not forgetting to loot every single chest piece and more servox. Yup, we really want this. Then you get this boss fight here. And, well, dude's a menace, but you should be just pulling out your knife. And when he hits you, you block, charge up, charge up, charge up, charge up. I win. Take all the loot, including the mysterious vials, so that we really have every single piece of everything. And get yourself the blueprint with a lot of servox. This is now a hover blueprint, so we can jump and hover higher. The one we have is against fall damage, and this one is to fly up to locations. Now, pretty much walk out of this, and in a full circular motion, you will arrive where we started. Remember that red dude? Yep, this is where our whole journey pretty much began. And we're going right out again to our base. Before we leave though, you can go now down here, and since we picked up that band that I mentioned earlier, we get even more loot. Yep, that's pretty good. Tons of servox, everything, just by paying a little bit attention. Now, quick, head back to your base. Don't forget to always deposit your blood, and then we can already research the bike assembly. Now, don't stress yourself with researching a water flask. You'll get a better schematic in the outpost. Rather spend your points on the surveying kit, because with this, you can see the whole area. Now, before we do anything further, we craft a welding torch. Then we already get a sand bike PSU because we picked that up from the research lab, which means we only need 3 treads, 1, 2, 3, a hull, and a chassis. For the chassis, I need another 12 ingots. Maybe you should also make an engine. Let's actually make an engine, right? Couldn't hurt. With all these parts, you equip your welding torch. Make sure you have all the vehicle parts in your inventory. Then pull out the torch, go to the chassis. We can put that down. Then PSU, engine, treads, and done. That's it. That's our bike. And with further research, you can also put an inventory on your bike, and you can get the vehicle backup tool. This vehicle backup tool allows you to suck in your bike as long as nothing is in the inventory, so it just doesn't stand around and get hurt by sandstorm and deteriorates. Definitely 2 things you absolutely want to have. Now we can't drive this bad boy because we are out of fuel. And for this, you need the small chemical refinery. If you're lacking intel for any of this, you can just complete any of the journey goals that you haven't yet, or clearing out locations like Keyhole Rock will give you 3 to 5 intel. There are boxes you can find, and they just simply give you bonus intel. Now, in order to create fuel, you need small or big vehicle fuel cells. These can be found scavenging in the world. Oop. That is now a fuel cells for me. And it can also drop you the bigger fuel cell that you need to then break down. Or you're going to head towards the monolith that I told you. You can see it in the distance already. There is the monolith. Because the monolith does actually have a trader for you. It'll take you like, 1-2 minutes to quickly get here. You walk inside the outpost, talk to the guy on the left, because this guy, you interact with him, and you say, I would like to learn, gives you a quest. And this quest unlocks the trooper skill tree. So you have to kill, and then report back. Boom, you get 2,000 money from him, and you can then get also all the trooper skills. The other guy you need to talk to is this vendor dude. Here, you can buy yourself the water container recipe, but also small vehicle fuel cells. I'm going to buy 2 of those and the recipe for the water container. Selling stuff to him is not really worth it. And now, since you have that little pack on your back that helps you with fall damage, you can just yeet yourself off the mountain and it will actually slow down your fall damage. There's also a contract board in the Griffin's Reach outpost. You might not be able to access this yet, as you haven't pushed the journey far enough forward. But if you do have the pieces that we collected inside the research station, can be used to knock out some quests easily. Take the fuel cell, refine it into fuel for your bike. And from this point on, the world is your oyster. F for more, refuel vehicle, bam. We can now zoom wherever we would like to go, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing can stop us. The first thing you do want to do is find a water-sealed cave, because water-sealed caves give you the materials you need to craft some specific items, but also the survey beacon that you can pretty much unlock the whole area and see every single little thing. Now, that being said, as soon as you have the bike, you can also just travel all the way north into the next region. But I would probably try to get that beacon first. Water sealed caves are these locations that you have to cut open. Then there could or could not be people in there. Depends. Sometimes there are also grenades on the ground that could explode you. Oh wow, that AI was smart once in a while. And the main thing you're here for is getting those EMF generators and the sandwich fabrics. Quickly head back to your base. Make yourself that survey probe launcher and let's say 2 survey probes. You'll need that later down the line anyways. You can also learn the schematic for your drink and for the Emperor's double jump and get yourself your first water canteen. And from this point on, you're able to extract the water from the purifier and always have water with you for drinking purposes. With the probe launcher, you climb as high as possible, and it actually tells you how high you need to be. I need 29 more meters. Okay. Scale this random cliff face here. Even if it burns me to crisp for a second, it's okay. Do I have the 29 meters? Nope, I need another 10. Get another 10. Shoot the thing out, and now the whole area will be unlocked for you. This is the wreck where you get the material for your weapons and armor. Here is the contract, and there's also more intel. You can pretty much see what the whole region has to offer. There are still small locations like these refuges, the tiny caves that you can discover. So it's not showing you everything, as there might be just stuff around here. But the major POIs are revealed. Now you can jump down and don't worry about fall damage, because we got that anti-fall damage thingy. And from this point on, world is your oyster. Follow your journey to get more experience right into that next region to actually get your next trial already, because that's what you're essentially looking for. Most importantly, research vehicle backup tool and the inventory, because before you go into the next region, you want to put that inventory on the back of your bike and then take tons of copper with you, tons of copper, because the next region has iron and not that much copper. Therefore, if you need some plant fibers and some copper, take that with you so you're able to recreate your base. Because your base right now, your simple 4x4, you can't teleport that. You need to abandon it. Therefore, you need to rebuild everything. And well, you just want to take the copper, the salvaged materials, that kind of stuff with you that you don't have to right away find it again. For this, the inventory helps a lot. Then you can just drive all the way to the north and make sure to build a base roughly in the middle of the map. That is your second base you'll ever have to build again. Now go out there, enjoy Arrakis, and hopefully this did help you. If you want to check out me stumbling through this and discovering all of this, there's the live stream. Have a good day.